would like to know, what exactly do I think that this tiny little hair tie is doing? Hello, welcome to my video. If you're from my Instagram, I love you. If you're not from my Instagram, love you all the same. I'm going to a wedding today. Well, it's not actually today. It's on Saturday, to be honest, but obviously I had to do a makeup test run to see how I feel about my look, and that's exactly what I did. So if you're interested in knowing how I achieved this look today, then please keep on watching. So naturally, I'm starting off with my eye base. I'm using the P. Louise base as per usual, although this time I'm gonna try and apply a little bit less of it than normal. So now I'm taking a dark brown shade. This is gonna be my darkest shade for the look, and I'm sketching out a sort of cat eye shape, but it's not gonna go too far out. The wing is not gonna be too dramatic. It's actually gonna be pretty demure for me, so. Okay, so I wanted to look something like that. You know, if you watch my other videos that I normally love to bring it out to the hairline, but at this point I wanna be a demure little guest. So this is what I'm gonna do on the other eye as well. So now I'm taking a small detailed brush. This is the E36 by Sigma and a medium brown, and I'm applying that where I didn't apply the dark brown shade at first to create sort of an eyeshadow shape. So kind of like so. It looks a little weird at the moment, but bear with me. By the way, you need to let me know if you're a guest at somebody's wedding, how extra do you go? Because here's my story. So I'm Serbian, right? And Serbian girls, if you're a guest at somebody's wedding, that somebody doesn't even have to be important to you, just anybody's wedding. If you're a wedding guest, Serbian girls normally, I don't like to generalize, but normally they go all out and just tan, pluck, gel, blend, mousse.
Gel, mousse, pluck, blend. Oh, I'll tell you, I'll be glad when this natural look is out.
Hairstyles, makeup, everything is pretty much professionally done, and it's a lot of work. Obviously, preparations start like a week in advance at least. And that's also the category where I fit in. Although now I live in Slovenia, and girls here also do get ready and look beautiful for weddings, but they don't do as much. I think honestly that's sort of the healthier way to go about things, but I'm still gonna do the most, girl. So here we are. Okay, so now that I have that shape down, I'm also gonna go above that darkest brown and also around the edges to blend and buff them out. Anyway, so my dress for this event is gonna be red, which is also why I'm in red today. But most of my accessories are gonna be sort of a light pink with some red details on it, like my bag and my shoes. They're really cute. If I can, I'm gonna insert a picture of my shoes because I think everybody needs to see them. And because of that, and also because I think doing a red eyeshadow look would be sort of overkill even for me, I'm gonna do a little light pink moment today. Okay, so this is what we're working with at the moment. It's sort of messy and muddy, as you can clearly see, but trust the process. So once again, same brush. This time though, I'm using a light sort of flesh toned color to blend out that medium shade as well, using the 50-50 technique, which means that I'm depositing 50% of that lightest shade onto my skin and the other 50% directly onto the medium brown shade. Okay, so now that it looks even messier, I actually got the look right where I want it to be, and I'm taking a slightly bigger and fluffier detailed brush and just buffing out the edges of that last shade. But yeah, anyway, hair. I gotta talk to you about my hair. Listen, I need to tell somebody. My hair is such a little diva. She is so difficult. She never wants to listen to me. I naturally have very pretty wavy hair. I'll try and find a picture and insert it here, but I didn't like it much when I was little. I love it now. It's very pretty. I really love it, and that's great. However, if I ever want to style it for special occasions like weddings or anything, basically, it never cooperates with me. God forbid I want to straighten it, it never stays pinned straight. The only time that it ever stays sort of straight is if I go to a professional hairstylist or a salon and get it straightened there. But even then, it's sort of over time, over about a few hours, which is more than when I do it myself at home, develops this sort of weird kink in the middle, so it's never pinned straight. So I don't like doing it straight, but I would love to curl it every once in a while, like really curl it. Now I'm not talking about little Bo Peep curls, but at least a very defined beachy curl would be great. Now whenever I try and do that though, my hair falls within like 40 minutes. It returns back to its natural state, and it doesn't matter how much hairspray I put in it, it never wants to stay the way that I style it. So ultimately, maybe an updo is the best thing for me. Okay, so I'm done with that. Now I'm gonna pack on the color for intensity, just like I did before, except in the reverse order. So starting with the lightest, medium, and then darkest. I'm actually pretty satisfied with the way my lightest color looks, so I'm gonna move on to the medium. And I'm just applying it in the exact same spots I did before. My goal here, honestly, is really just to sort of strengthen the pigment. Now, while I'm doing this, we need to talk. I don't know if any of you are watching Drag Race All-Stars 7 at this point or not, but if you're not, I don't know about you. I don't know how to talk to you. Because honestly, this season of All-Stars might so far be the best one I've seen in a while, to be honest. And honestly, I should have figured that as soon as they revealed the cast to us, because first of all, the cast is immaculate. That's number one, but the promo looks, I just about lost it. Everybody looked so rich in the promos. I mean, so incredible. I was blown away. Beautiful hair, incredible, stunning outfits. Everybody really nailed it. So I should have known. And that is on me, absolutely 100%. But honestly, if you haven't watched any of the episodes, you should binge them all immediately. I think there's 3 out as of right now. So go do yourself a favor and binge absolutely all of them, because wow. Okay, I'm gonna go right back to raving about Drag Race. As soon as I finish this, just give me a moment. So now, last darkest shade that we used in the beginning, I'm using it right now, and I'm just tapping it into the very outer corner, and I'm gonna blend it out. So since I already established this shape earlier by drawing it on in the very beginning, if you'll remember, I don't need to pack it on right now. I don't need to focus where I pack it on. I just need to add it where I've sort of lost the color via blending, and then blend it out some more, and it'll look really cute. Anyway, episode 1 of All Stars, as soon as I started watching it, as soon as the girls stepped onto the runway, I said, okay, so just nobody's gonna do bad this season, huh? Because all the outfits were completely immaculate, and even the ones that were sort of harshly judged on the pit stop with, this is gonna be the only spoiler alert, the host, Bob the drag queen, who I absolutely love, I thought were incredible personally. So I was really blown away because everybody decided to absolutely bring it. And I will say I like this season's, this is gonna be the only other spoiler alert, I promise. I like this season's twist of how they decided not to send anybody home. Although I'm normally the first one to be like, oh, come on already, send somebody home. And not because I don't love the girls, but because, you know, that's just the format that I'm used to. This, I think, will be a nice change. So tell me, who is your fave? I'm immediately Team Jinx, and I have to say I'm also Team Monet. That's that on that. Anyway, I am now just intensifying the lower lash line as well with that darkest brown, and doing the exact same thing on the other eye. This is the base, and I think this blend is pretty cute. What do you think? So now on a flat brush, I'm just taking the tiny little bit of base I had left over on my hand, and I'm applying it to my moving lid. I'm not gonna cut the crease, that's not what this is. This is what I like to call a soft cut. I don't know if this is what other people like to call a soft cut crease, but I'm calling it that. So you know what, it is what it is. And as you were able to see, I applied it on both eyes and then wiped off the excess. And now I'm just bringing it up, almost touching that middle brown shade. And again, same on the other eye. Now that that's looking like that, I'm taking another flat brush and I'm applying actually my highlighter to it. This is the Juvia's Place highlighter, and I'm applying that all over on top of the base that I just applied. And now I know that you're thinking, oh wait, didn't she say this was gonna be a pink look? And yes, it is, but this is a little hack that I recently discovered to make your eye and your shimmer really pop and look sort of glassy. So just stay with me on this one, okay? Same thing on the other eye. Now, if you by any chance are wanting to recreate this look, you could absolutely do this and then stop here because this is a gorgeous look as well. But I actually really want to add pink on top of this, so that's what I'm going to do. Then using the same small detailed brush I've been using all of this time, with whatever's left on top of it, I'm just gonna go over that shimmer so that there's no harsh line there. Now using my finger actually, and this blush by The Balm that I use almost every day, I'm applying the lightest pink blush just right on top of that champagne-y color. So by applying the champagne shade underneath the pink, it's gonna give the pink this sort of duochrome effect that I really like, and I don't know if I could achieve with this blush alone. I probably couldn't. But it's also gonna make the eyes look almost glossy, and especially in pictures, it's gonna look incredible. Now, if you have giant nails like me and can't get to the inner corners of the eyes, but want to apply the pink there as well, just use a tiny brush. It'll be way easier. But this is basically the finished eye look. I'm also gonna add falsies on my eyes that day. I'm not gonna do it today because I literally have nowhere to go. So I'm just gonna move on, but you can imagine how cute it will be with falsies. So because I'm skipping falsies today, I'm applying this lash serum that I use underneath mascara because it keeps my lashes separated and lifted. So now that I've applied that, I'm actually gonna wait for it to completely dry, and meanwhile, I'm gonna move on to foundation. I think I just got foundation on my earrings, so that's how my day is going. How is yours going? You know, yeah, I definitely got foundation on this earring. I don't know if you can see, but hopefully you can't. Oh my goodness, what a mess. I'm blending this out with a damp beauty blender. Can you imagine if I left the house looking like a before and after photo, just one side of my face foundation and the other one bare? Anyway, all my pale people, do you self-tan, yes or no? I never used to do it, but you know what? Recently, self-tanning has gotten so easy that even an idiot like me can do it and not look crazy. And by recently, I mean in the last few years, because when I was probably in high school maybe, I think I wanted to get into the self-tanning life, but the products always made you look orange and like an Oompa Loompa, so I never really messed with it, to be honest. But now I can totally cosplay like I have beautiful tan olive skin for like 2 days. Not that anybody who knows me believes me, but naturally I also need to especially cover this big giant nose that maybe I'll start contouring one day, but today is definitely not that day. To be honest, I never contour my nose anymore. I just feel like I don't know how to do it well enough that it doesn't bring more attention to it, if that makes sense. Or maybe that's just how I feel. Maybe it doesn't even look like that, but I just feel like that. Like if I contour it, it sort of calls to itself even more, and that's not my personal goal. So that's why I don't do that. Okay, now what I like to do is apply foundation on half of my forehead, just like this, and then get a flat brush and apply some foundation on it. And I like to carve out my eyebrows, and yes, I am still fully doing this. And then I just blend it out normally. Same thing on the other side. Listen, you need to bring foundation down to your neck. We talked about this. Now I'm gonna do my usual concealing routine, which is to cover up any blemishes. I'm using the Fit Me by Maybelline in a skin tone that's closer to mine. And for the dark circles, I'm using a Catrice concealer, believe it or not. It's called Liquid Camouflage, and it's just a tiny bit lighter than my skin tone. So I start by blending out the Fit Me concealer while the Catrice concealer dries down a little bit. And then I start with this sort of little tail, and I blend that out. Then I wait another minute, and then slowly pat the concealer in the innermost corner of my eye like this. Now I'm not blending that out yet. As you can see, it's not blended out right here. I'm waiting for that to dry almost completely, about another 30 seconds. So while that's drying, I'm prepping my next step, which is I'm taking a tiny beauty blender and I'm coating it in setting powder, and I'm just gonna set my eyes. Okay, so that's almost dry at this point, so I'm just blending it all out. And I'm taking the beauty blender and I'm applying it where I applied the concealer. And then I'm taking a giant fluffy brush and I'm immediately sort of patting that into the skin. I'm not baking at all. Okay, so do you see the difference? So same thing on the other eye. If you find that you've waited a little too long and the concealer has completely dried down and you can't blend it at all, you can just spray your face with setting spray and it'll sort of reactivate the concealer. That's a cute little tip that I learned from Miss Jackie Aina, who is fabulous, by the way. So I'm just bronzing up my face right now like I normally would. I don't draw on a line, I just sort of blend it into the shape that I want to achieve. And since I want to define this line a little bit, I'm just taking my beauty blender and whatever's left on it and just carving that out just a tiny bit. I'm also bronzing my 5 head and around my hairline a little bit as well. If you go a little overboard like I did, again, beauty blender, whatever's left on it, and just go over that harsh line a little bit. Now I'm doing the double and triple chins. Now I don't want to apply my contour here. I want to apply it right where the chins sort of are, right in this little pocket. But I am blending it a little bit above that and a little bit below that as well so that it looks like it's a natural shadow. Okay, so see, there is a slight difference. Obviously, you're not fooling anybody. Give it up delicious, you look like a man, but now I'm just buffing out any harsh lines with my fluffy brush. Moving on to the same blush that I used on my eyes, except this is the sort of darker shade and I'm applying it right above my bronzer. Here comes my favorite step, also known as the highlighter. I'm taking a tiny brush like this one just because I feel like if I use a big brush on my skin, it just adds unnecessary texture, which highlighter can already add by itself, so I'm not trying to add more texture. I'm taking a tiny brush like this and I am of course spraying it and I'm dipping it into my highlighter. Today I'm using a NYX highlighter. This is a pretty rose gold one, so it fits the theme perfectly. I am on this highlighter train for life, and I am never getting off, no stops. A little bit above the lip as well, tiny bit on the nose, just a tiny bit, okay. Ugh. Didn't I just say I don't like bringing attention to my nose, and then here I am highlighting it. So the second to last step is mascara. So now the last step is to do the lips, and I'm gonna do my absolute favorite lip combo today. I'm also gonna do it on the day of the wedding as well. So it's this nude lip pencil, a MAC lipstick in the shade Fanfare, which is like a pink, and then a nude lip gloss on top. So this is the lipstick. It's like a beautiful pinky shade, and then I sometimes leave it just like this, but normally I use this old cheap Essence nude lip gloss that I couldn't even tell you what it is because it's so old that everything on it rubbed off. Literally all of the letters, but it's beautiful in combination with these two products. Look at that lip. I mean, I just love that, and I still haven't been able to find a lip combo that I love more than this one. So I'm riding with this one till the end. Yet another train that I'm just not getting off of. So this is the finished makeup look that I honestly really like, and I'm probably going to be wearing it at the wedding. Let me know what you think of it down in the comments below. Also, if you enjoyed today's video, please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!